Next, I get to introduce one of the coolest people I know, Rachel Atcheson. Anybody who knows her probably agrees with me that she is the coolest. Rachel has been working with our mayor, Eric Adams, for the last 4 years and currently serves as the senior assistant to the mayor, as well as serving as the animal welfare liaison, which is the only position like this in the country. Rachel started off as the deputy strategist for then Brooklyn Borough President Adams, where she worked on plant-based nutrition initiatives, including launching Bellevue Hospital's plant-based lifestyle medicine program, which we just heard about in one of the panel presentations. She's also really done a lot to expand the resources available to Brooklyn residents who might benefit from access to information around plant-based nutrition. We are very proud to have her as the at-large director of SUNY Downstate's Committee on Plant-Based Health and Nutrition. Everyone, please welcome Rachel Atcheson.
Okay, so when Columbus was speaking about stress earlier, I now do not give a lot of talks anymore. I used to actually travel around the country giving talks on animal protection, and now I'm surrounded by so many badass people in the field that give talks about these topics that it is a true honor to stand amongst the giants in this space. So as an honorary member of the Mayor's Office of Food Policy, I'm going to share a little bit about the Plant Forward initiatives that New York City has been embracing. So before I do that, I want to take a minute to say that this conference and the SUNY Downstate Committee on Plant-Based Nutrition have really been there since the beginning. We have partnered in many ways over the past several years to where now SUNY Downstate, to me, is a beacon of what New York City has to offer in this space. The fact that we have a plant-based nutrition conference for Brooklyn, for New York City, is amazing. When you think about the large conferences happen in DC, they happen in Los Angeles, but no, we have begun to make our mark here. And the mayor, then the Brooklyn Borough President, was not new to this. He has been true to this for a while, and he's been doing things like advocating for Meatless Mondays in the hospital system. So on the photo on the left is him at Coney Island launching that Meatless Monday program almost three and a half years ago. He hosted events at Brooklyn Borough Hall with Dr. Neil Barnard from the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. We brought people, CEOs of hospitals, chief medical officers to Brooklyn Borough Hall. We really started to have this conversation in a real way. We devoted a lot of time and energy to getting the message out. One Brooklyn was our community newspaper. We dedicated a lot of time, in essence, airwaves to the message. We even traveled to DC to testify in front of the National Dietary Guidelines Advisory Committee on the 2020 guidelines. So simultaneously, in the mayor's office under the de Blasio administration, the mayor's office of food policy under that administration launched Food Forward NYC. And a little over 100 days ago, but who is counting, we were able to join forces, and the mayor's office of food policy and Eric Adams are now one. And they're really kind of pushing forward the vision that under the de Blasio administration, the people in the Mayor's Office of Food Policy had really all along. And so I'm very excited to be talking about what food policy in New York means. I was just at a conference a few days ago in Los Angeles, and folks were asking me, oh, what do you mean when you say food policy and government? And sometimes because food is not a political topic of conversation, people are confused by that, when they really shouldn't be when we look at how many meals. I mean, we're serving roughly 230 million meals to New Yorkers every year. And that means it's happening in our school system, it's happening in our jails, it's happening in our hospitals, it's happening in our senior centers. And the reach of what we determine to serve is truly incredibly far-reaching. So as we look at what role food policy plays in the administration, we have to get the right leaders in place. And so you've already begun to see our commitment to nutrition and to lifestyle medicine take place. Absolutely, I see the Plantastics team is here. We put Michelle McMacken as the head of nutrition and lifestyle medicine in H&H, and H&H has just done a tremendous job in this space. And I'll be speaking a little bit about that further down the line. We've begun to look at where our food policies can be made a little bit more plant forward than maybe they explicitly had been previously. So we issued 2 executive actions back in February. Executive Order 8 is the commitment to food nutrition. It talks about the good food purchasing policy. So looking at a value statement of where is our food coming from? What sort of sustainability indicators are we looking at? What nutritional profiles are we looking at? What animal welfare are we looking at? And then Executive Order 9 is looking at what are the foods that we're promoting on city property and wanting to really prioritize promoting healthy food. And we're doing something that is not necessarily the most sexy work, but it is truly monumental work, and that's done by our Department of Health, issuing food standards that right now we're issuing them every 3 years at least, and that's issuing the best nutritional data that we possibly can muster. And so we are very proud of those food standards and excited that as time continues, they are becoming more and more plant forward. But we're not waiting for the randomized control trials that some might want in this space to say, hey, let's eat more plants. What does an eating more plants administration look like? It means serving delicious plant-based food at our events. So any events that we're hosting, we're serving amazing food that, guess what, people are loving. It is phenomenal to go to. This was last week at our iftar dinner. It's phenomenal to go to. Last night we had our Cinco de Mayo celebration and see and taste this amazing cuisine and try and get over the hurdles of what people envision plant-based eating to be and instead just serve them delicious food. It's been fantastic. And of course we launched Plant-Powered Fridays in our school system. We're focused on bringing back the salad bars to each school after COVID really shut that system down. And the city's social media reaffirms that commitment. And if you do not follow New York City, the mayor, on social media, I highly recommend you do, because sometimes I just have to pinch myself with how amazing our team is for bringing this message and spreading this message far and wide. Everything from filming tutorials on how to make the mayor's morning smoothie to working alongside colleagues who host events like with our Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs, where we hosted an event making more smoothies out in the community at Lincoln Hospital. Even the HR newsletter now features things like recipes from Tabitha Brown. And our health and hospitals team, I just want to pause and take a second because this agency has jumped more on board with lifestyle medicine than even my wildest hopes and visions. And when we launched the Bellevue Clinic almost 4 years ago, it was a pilot. It was a $400,000 investment into the space, and we would look at the data. We'd look at to see whether we could expand this. And I'm so proud that back in February, we expanded that program from 1 hospital to 7. So we have just begun that staffing up process and really bringing plant-based lifestyle medicine programming to each borough. So it is truly, again, one of those pinching moments. And then when you see Bill Clinton applaud the work on social media, there's a double pinch right there. We'll continue hosting events that never before looked at food policy and now have a lens of food policy. When the mayor, when folks at the mayor's office brought, hey, what do you want to do for your Black History Month event? He immediately said, well, of course, we've got to focus it on food. So we've got that in the pipeline. And we also, I think Columbus said it wonderfully earlier, if kids grow the food, they're going to eat the food. And we are expanding urban agriculture like none other as well. We're launching an office of urban agriculture within the mayor's office, and we'll be seeing some fruits of that labor in the next couple of months. We'll continue to look to ways to honor those who serve us food, because this is an ecosystem. It is not a monolith. It is so many different feeders of how our system is run today. And honoring those who serve us food, like these District 37 laborers, was truly a special day in City Hall. And we're going to have an even amazing opportunity coming up, because the White House is hosting a White House conference on food nutrition and hunger, and we will be playing our part, so more news on that to come. We'll continue talking to anyone and everyone about the mayor's morning smoothies. And because after all, it's built into the mayor's fabric that he is indeed the broccoli mayor. And with that, I will conclude and give the time to Michelle. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Rachel, for everything that you're doing with the mayor's office. Spectacular.